So behind me is a art installation that I did 10 years ago for North Cypress Hospital. They wanted something to inspire all the patients and something to give hope. So I came up with this concept and they loved the texture of what I've done in the past, and so I kind of emulated that and created that on this sculpture. I just remember how I felt when I'm going through hard times and hard struggles and sadness and anger, that I rely on art. And I realized that painting helped me relieve some of the pain and some of the sadness that I have in my life. From that, I realized that doing and sharing and teaching art at the hospital for art wellness for these cancer patients has been the key to their mental wellness and success in their journey to breast cancer treatment. I think that art is a powerful tool for healing and connecting, is because when they are in it and painting and they pick up that paintbrush, they get lost in their own headspace. They don't think about their treatment. They don't think about the hurt and pain that their body is taking a toll on. All they think about in that moment is that color that makes them feel good, or this shape or this scenery or this flower makes them feel really happy. So from all of that, it helps create a space for them that's a safe space for them, and only they can create that within themselves by teaching them how to do it. I realized the first time my art had helped a person was when I sat down and had a one-on-one art lesson with a client, and she was in tears. And at first I thought she was having a bad day. Are you okay? Like, why are you crying? And she was like, I'm never good at art. I am not a creative person. I never thought I could do this, but by how we are going about in teaching and painting this way has helped her realize that there are no rules. It's within her, you can color outside the lines, and she could be happy with what she is creating, and it doesn't restrict her. So for her to have no boundaries within that space has helped her manage her stress, her hurts, her anger, or whatever her bad days were. So that has really spoke to me. From this art experience, I hope that the patient can take away their sense of dignity back. I hope that they can walk away with happiness and joy back, because when you're in the moment of fighting this journey, it's so hard to see all the happiness, all the good stuff that's going on in the world. So that's what I hope for them. My dream and hope for this program at North Cypress Hospital would be that we would get this amazing grant of some sort, and all the other facilities can provide the same opportunity for their patients. Currently, right now, North Cypress Hospital is one of the few hospitals that provide the services for their patients for free. In the long run, in the future, for every hospital to be able to provide this for all of their patients, that would be amazing. So we met 10 years ago. That's wild.
Yeah, I've been at my job 19 years.
Yep.
And in 2007, like January 2007, I came to the first meeting.
Yeah.
So I was at the very first meeting they had.
Okay.
So 10 years.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's been longer than 10 years because my mother, She passed in 2012,
Right?
and we were doing it in 2011
Wow.
because she was so excited that I was painting.
Oh my gosh, this is wild. And so, do you remember what you were feeling when we start painting? When we start getting together and going through all of
Such
this?
a release.
Yeah.
You'd be real tired,
Yep.
and then you come here and you just forget all about it.
Isn't that great? Yeah. The question is, if I could paint a mural anywhere, where would it be and what would it be? So my answer would be, I would paint a mural in the jailhouse, right? On a wall of like in an area that people have given up on them. And they are like towards the end of whatever they think they are in this jail section of the county. And so I would paint it at that wall, and I would paint like trigger images of things that will help inspire them to overcome whatever this is that they're in, because it could be their life sentences, it could be 30 years in jail, it could be whatever, but they come to this wall every day and they still have hope. Because at the end of the day, if this is all you have, why not make it a happy wall? So that's where I would paint it. So, what about you ladies? Where would y'all paint it?
What mural?
Yeah. And where? Where would you paint it? Where would you paint this mural?
That's a good question. Well, that's a good question. Because it could be anywhere.
Yeah.
Maybe in a park
Yeah.
so that everybody can see it.
Mhm.
I would paint something kind of like light and colorful and kind of represent like hope or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just in case you having a bad day and you decide to go to the park to, clear your head, you see that mural.
Yeah.
You like, I
Feel better.
Yeah.
Yeah, and people.
Kind of like you.
Yeah, and a lot of people, they go to the park to clear their heads. So that's a really great place to have a mural for sure. Yeah.
I think, well, first of all, if I had the talent, but
You do.
I would want a black and white mural,
Mhm.
like you said, kind of at a park or someplace, maybe like at a foster area,
Uh-huh.
or someplace where foster kids can come and just kind of find peace. But with a black and white mural with lots of like sections of, this is an easel, this is another easel, and then they take chalk and can just fill in the wall.
Oh, I
So they
love
paint the
that.
colors they want to paint, and then every rainstorm, we start again.
Oh, I love that. That is an awesome idea. That's pretty good.
But I say that, but then at the same time, I'm like, if nobody participates, then it's going to look real weird. real black and white. But
I think that's a great setup for them to be able to like create and get involved and and start over.
right.
I love that idea. In fact, you guys should start that somewhere here on campus.
Right.
That would be really cool for the patients and even the guest that comes in this hospital that comes through and they're struggling, with whatever that's going on. They could write or paint a little something before they leave, and then it just washes away and
Right, just-
start over.
Start again.
Yeah. I have a lot of clothes that has paint on it. And I have a lot of really inexpensive pieces and really expensive pieces, and I treat them all the same. And to me, they're all perfect for me because they're my clothes, right? And when I have paint on them, it's part of who I am, and that's the imperfection of who I am. So I wash the clothes and the paint still stays, but I still rock it with the paint on. And and I embrace it. So I always try to encourage all of, my students and my friends to be like, it's fine. Just, it's not, no one died, you didn't get hurt, leave that there and try to be creative with it. And more than likely, whatever little mess up you have on the painting or on your clothes, you're gonna paint around it and it's gonna make it better because you have to think more about it to be more creative, and it helps with your creativity. So I think imperfection feeds your creativity, basically. If it was perfect, you're just really painting inside the lines and you're really not creating anything, really. You're just coloring it in. So when it's when you have a blemish or when you have whatever, what do? You try to put some more makeup on, or you try to wear a hat, and oh my goodness, that hat is so cool because you just covered that blemish on your forehead and you're rocking it all day, and everybody gave you all these compliments on your cool hat today. But if it wasn't for that blemish on your face, you would never wear that hat, right? So that's how I can relate to that. So rock your blemish, right? Your imperfection.
And that's why I kind of like painting. I mean, I do drawings that are more detailed.
Yeah.
But I like painting abstract because I just go with the flow.
Yes.
I don't have to worry about it
Yeah.
so much.
Right, for sure.
I've painted a few things that are more
Right.
realistic.
And we painted a lot together, and you're like, oh, I don't like it, and so you kind of paint over it, and it becomes really beautiful. Mm-hmm. So you just go with the flow with it, and then your little hiccups or imperfection becomes your masterpiece.
Yep.
And your kids love it, and now they want you to paint more for them.
That was a blast.
Yay!
That was so much fun.
Oh my goodness, Lindsay. I'm so glad you were able to witness that, because that was really neat.
Yeah, I wish everybody were able to show up today. I know the weather has been just a nightmare.
I know,
but
and I know, sometimes, patients are going through treatment, so they may not be feeling well and be up to it. So sometimes, you just get an absent person just because they're not feeling well. So
Right.
we get it, but we had fun anyway.
all this whole time, everybody has been talking about how much fun they have here.
Yeah.
They always talk about, don't worry about where you're at. You don't have to be an artist. Just come on.
Yeah.
We have a great time. So
Exactly.
I'm so glad that I got to be here this time.
Yay!
So how did you get involved with North Cypress doing this experience with us?
So this was about 10 years ago. An old publicist that I had, Janet, reached out to her wanting an artist to paint a sculpture of the pink ribbon for y'all's pink ribbon event. And so my publicist would reach out to me and said, hey, there's a project, do you want to paint this sculpture for a hospital? And I said, well, what is it? Tell me about it. And she was telling me it's about the pink ribbon, breast cancer, and I said, sure. So we met with with Janet and her team, and we talked about how they want to paint, or I'm sorry, what kind of theme they want me to paint on the ribbon. And all they said was paint something that's hopeful, to give all the clients a chance of hope and spirit. And I said, okay, great. And then I went home, I did some sketch renderings, and I proposed it to them. And they're like, great, let's go, let's do it. And then a month later, I painted it, brought it back to them. And it's funny because the sculpture is still vibrant because I took it to a paint shop to have them protect it. So that's why it's still bright and shiny.
When was that?
That was 10 years ago. That was in 2016.
Okay.
Yeah, at the end of 2015, beginning of 2016. And then Janet reached back out to my publicist at the time, and she said, hey, by the way, we're looking for something, some art wellness to do for our patient that, we wanted to work on a program. And would she be willing to teach these patients how to paint, every quarter or something? And 10 years later, here we are. We've been painting quarterly every year. So
I love that.
It's been crazy.
The pink ribbon is still one of the favorite places for people to gather. So whether it's people gathering for lunch or just that is a place where I can tell people, when you're trying to come to where we are, look for the ribbon. And so it's in all of our, this is our cancer center, here's the ribbon. So I love to hear the story behind that.
I love that.
And I know
so
whenever I was
happy.
leaving before, I would see y'all in there painting and I'm just thinking, I want to do that. I want to, but didn't know anything about it until I got into this section.
That is so
this
great.
role.
I love it. So now that you are new in this role,
Right.
and I am so happy you got an opportunity to experience this with us tonight. It was really lovely, and painting with the patients, it's just like catching up with an old friend every quarter, right? Like you don't see them every day, but when you do see them, it's just like picking up from where you left off. And how does that feel? What was that like for you?
So one of the things I'm really proud about is that we look at different levels of survivorship. We look at how can we support the person and understand that everybody's at a different place in their journey.
Yeah.
Right? We have support groups where they want to come and they want to talk. There's things that they need to get out or things that we want to educate on. But one of the things that I hear more and more and more in someone's cancer journey is that sometimes they're tired of talking. They just want to escape. They just want to be gone. And we can't exactly bring them down to the beach or bring them to a pond or anything like that. But this is a spot where we can come in. Doesn't matter your mobility, doesn't matter your experience. We can be here, and like you said, these women have become friends. They know each other's stories. They know their high points, their low points, and even my short time here, I'm seeing that that each other's highs are their highs, like their lows, their lows. And I love that we have this avenue where people can say, you know what, I may not be ready for support group yet, but I know I'm supported in this. Okay, so you mentioned that you do painting, you do floral design, interior design, lots of things, Do you see any way that some of that stuff can be incorporated here?
I would love to do that because I would love to see every month we do something different, right?
Oh, okay.
And teach the patients to create differently. Because if you think about it, art is everywhere. You just have to see it, right? And I could teach them, 1 month we could do our painting. The next month we can do, plant succulents in a really cool twist. The next month we can do moss balls with the succulents or whatever. The other month we can do a floral arrangement. I can even teach them how to do a little tablescape, if they're doing little dinner parties. All of these little things that are creative, we could just do it together. We can make decoupage glass and stuff like that and make really cool candles out of it and stuff like that.
I love that.
Yeah.
Because I know for me, painting is so difficult.
Right.
Just right off the bat saying, whenever you said, what do you want to paint? I just went,
yeah, and it's intimidating, right?
it is.
So if the guests at the hospital have different opportunities to do different things.
Yes.
And they see it on the calendar of these are the things that we're doing, they will maybe more inclined to sign up and join the fun.
Everybody has something that they enjoy doing, right? Like I'm more of a sewer, crochet, whatever.
Right.
Not that I've ever finished a project in my life, but I like that sort of thing. But then if you say, okay, here's some succulents, let's talk about how to plant that. I'm down for that.
And oh my goodness, one of the things that I would love to teach the ladies how to do is bring your old jean jacket or whatever, and we can paint on them. Or paint a little initials, or we can put patches on them and paint around them and do all of those
I want to
things.
bedazzle them.
Yeah,
Bedazzled,
so
like the
those
80s.
are the things that we could do that are just fun and just be artistic about it. But people don't think about it, right, until you just present it to them. Then they're like, oh, okay, I didn't
that
know.
guided portion of it.
Absolutely.
I think that'd be a blast.
Yeah.
I could definitely see that would help add some variety and tap into different people's passions.
Absolutely.
A little bit more.
Absolutely.
So I know you had mentioned that there's always a bouquet type thing in December. What kind of things do you do with that?
So basically, I would prep their box, their container. It's normally some Christmas theme of some sort. And then I would bring in all of the Christmas greeneries and red roses and all of the different colors to kind of keep with the Christmas theme. And then I showed them how to, you know, clip them and stick them and arrange them high or tall or small, or I mean, it's just overflow with joy on it, and it's just the way how they want to create their bouquet. And so so we do it in a way, we put it in a wet foam that lasts longer than just in regular water, so they can enjoy it for the Christmas holidays on their dinner table, or bring it to as a gift to a friend's house if they're going to somewhere for Christmas. So
That'd be cool.
yeah,
I love that.
So it's just a cute way to create a bouquet and then enjoy it longer for the holidays.
So, Hanh, we want to thank you so much for being here. You have such a huge heart to be able to continue doing this, even though you're not very close to us anymore. Just, I love so much watching you with our survivors and watching you in this whole process. And just thank you so much for still keeping us on your books and keeping us inspired through your work and on back to us.
Thank you. So you've seen me do the interior and exterior design, and you've also seen me do the charcuterie board, but this one is a little special to me because I get the privilege and the chance to spend time with our survivors at HCA North Cypress. If you'd like more information, please contact the information below that we provide, and please sign up and subscribe. Thank you. Have a great day.